Hey everyone, this is Derek here, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at one of my favorite underrated buildings in San Martin. So over the past few months we've looked at a ton of drop or loot locations on Miramar since that map was released to PUBG Mobile. And San Martin is one of those locations I haven't covered yet, and that's because at least initially, due to its proximity to Hacienda, everybody was just dropping at Hacienda instead. Or they were dropping Pecado Arena or El Pozo Arena. Those are some awesome locations too. Now, San Martin doesn't have any of those incredible buildings, however it does have a number of apartment buildings that have a ton of loot in them. Now, not as much level 3 stuff as Pecado Arena, for example, but definitely enough to gear you up pretty well for the game. So there are actually 3 buildings I always love to loot in San Martin when I drop here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the first 2. Well, actually we'll just be looting one of them, that way you get a sense of what you can get from one building. However, I'll also point out the other one, which is identical and located very close. So we're flying over to San Martin here. You can see that there are 2 larger apartment buildings, actually 3 larger ones. But the ones we're going to be focusing on today, once we get the parachute out, are the ones with the kind of rectangle-y shape. The one straight ahead, you can see it there, and then the one we're landing on right now. So you always want to land on the roof if you can, that way there's good stuff up here, and if you have to engage people early, you can shoot down at them, which is a preferable way to engage in this game versus shooting up. So right away we've got a shotgun, some level 2 armor, a smoke grenade, a tactical stock, and a suppressor for an SMG, so that's pretty good. We've got a suppressor for a pistol. Don't think I'm going to bother with that. I'll probably get one later anyways. Got an extended mag for an AR, an extended quick draw for an SMG, as well as a stock for a micro Uzi. This means that if we found a micro Uzi right now, we would already have a stock, a suppressor, and an extended quick draw for it, which would make it a very formidable short-range weapon. So now what we're going to do is work our way around these floors and see what we can find. So we've got that shotgun, we picked up a red dot sight, there's a flash hider for the SMG, but we don't have an SMG to use it on yet, and probably going to stick with the suppressor anyways. There is a mini that's a good weapon for longer range combat. I think we'll drop that shotgun for the UMP because we have a vertical grip, an extended quick draw, and that suppressor for it. So that is already a decent short range weapon. So what we're going to do now is work our way up and down these little apartments. You want to check each one because you never know where that level 3 gear might spawn. And as you'll see, this building, although it isn't as loot dense as something like the arena or the mines, it tends to still have very good loot in it. So we've got some boost items now. Those are always good to find. There's an M16, but I think we'll stick with the mini for range and then the UMP for short range. So you could grab the M16 instead, but we don't have any optics really for either one yet. So I think we'll just stick with the mini, hoping that we find a scope somewhere else in this apartment complex. Now we've moved down one more floor and we'll basically just repeat the same thing again. There's a level 3 helmet, definitely going to go ahead and pick that up, but want to make sure there was nothing in that other room either, because like I said, you could have a level 3 backpack or vest or anything spawning in those little rooms. You always want to check them. There are 2 more good healing items, a first aid kit and another boost item. Here's another balcony. We've got a crossbow. There's a smoke grenade. Smoke grenades are much more useful after the 0.6.1 update, where they now produce a smoke cloud that is quite worthy of actually concealing people versus before they were kind of lame. I think we're going to go ahead and swap the mini for the M4, just because the M4 is such a versatile weapon. You can still put an 8x scope on it for now until 0.7.0 comes out, so we might as well take advantage of it. We have the stock for it as well as a vertical grip, so pretty decent weapon, and an extended magazine for it already. So I mean, we already have most of the attachments. I think we'll just go with that instead of the mini, although the mini would be a good choice too. There is a buggy, not my buggy, but there's a real person somewhere, so we might have to deal with him soon. Another extended quick draw. There's some 9mm, a Kar 98. You guys will probably say, why didn't you pick up the Kar 98? Well, we don't have optics for it, and honestly, I'm just not that good with a Kar 98, so I'll leave it for somebody else to pick up and then probably kill me later in the game with it, because I'd rather just use the M4 in single shot. That's just my personal preference. So Let's see what we can find. We're almost through this building. There is a vertical grip actually. So the first vertical grip we found on the roof went to the UMP, and then that one went to the M4. So now both of those slots are filled up. And there's a suppressor for a sniper. So if we stuck with the mini, we would have a suppressor for it. So, you know, decisions. Each of those has its pros and cons. If we were playing duos, then one person could grab one person grab the other, and all would be good. So if you're dropping solo like I did in this game, or you're playing duos, I recommend that both of you drop in the same location. That way you don't have to worry about potentially getting separated and then having to engage a duo team by yourself. If you are playing in squads, I recommend that 2 people go to this apartment and 2 people hit up the other one that is just to the northwest of this one. That way you guys can share the loot. You can get enough loot between each other to do well and gear up for the game. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This was a quick look at the first of my 2 favorite buildings in San Martin to loot. And you never know what you're going to find. So, you know, obviously we got a level 3 backpack and a level 3 helmet. So that's pretty good. And this bot thankfully delivered a suppressor for an AR as well as some more 5.56. So now that M4 is an even better weapon. And now we'll just go ahead and probably go loot the other apartment and see what else we can find. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, because that certainly helps me out and helps the channel out, and I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely consider doing that now too, for tons more PUBG mobile content, including gameplay, tips and tricks, loot location highlights, and a whole lot more. My name's Derek G, and I hope to see you on the battlefield soon, or in my Discord, which I'll also leave a link to down below. So one final note is we didn't find any optics there, and that's pretty peculiar. We found a ton of other good equipment. You can see what I have now. I have double suppressed SMG and an AR, and a ton of boost items, some healing items, but no scopes. And I've looted these buildings since then a couple times, and I've almost always found a scope. Now I haven't always found as much level 3 equipment, but that's kind of luck of the draw. So maybe in another game that level 3 backpack would have been a 4 or an 8 times scope. But for us, we still got some decent equipment, and as you can see, still prepared to engage people in the early to mid game.